So this is my story time of how I got lost at TAFE. So I was doing a fashion design course. I was on my routine tablet forms of medication, going between following this diet and not following this diet type thing. I heavily relapsed into meat-fueled addiction again type thing, and I was doing the TAFE course. I was taking my medications like I'm supposed to on a routinely daily basis, but I struggled to get up in the morning and, take my medications sometimes, and I was kind of, yo-yoing psychotically completely on tablet forms of medications. Even when I was taking my medications relatively consistently, I was still, not myself type thing, and I ended up at TAFE one afternoon. I excused myself from an assessment that I had to do because I was on a tangent type thing, and I ended up going on this maze run of checking the bicycle locks and checking the security guard situation, feeling like I was on this maze hunt, this mapping of a situation, because I had this sensation that I made a friend at TAFE that didn't exist, and I thought that they kind of owned the building and I was there to help them fashion design, create a fashion business to, take the world over and, put my, put the fashion industry back into its normalcy type thing, because there's a lot of, unethical fashion out there with fast fashion and, people being exploited and stuff like that. So I had this idea to, create a fashion brand that was ethically traded and paid its wages and, sourced fabrics, environmentally friendly, not using leather, kind of do like a vegan leather project type stuff. And yeah, that's what happened to me. I ended up getting lost. I followed the signs and the symbols and I was probably at the TAFE for an additional 5 hours, just going around in circles trying to hunt down the clues and the codes and the button pressing on the security doors and going up and down the fire escapes. And I ended up back at the TAFE building and sitting there at the fashion design course on the purple chair, and my brother had to come and pick me up that afternoon because I was so elevatingly psychotic. And yeah, that's what happened to me. It was an embarrassing situation for myself that, I remember everything of what I did. I also had a story where I ended up at Barangaroo. I ended up at Parramatta, where I went to Bankstown and I stole a sandwich and a Diet Coke from the 7-Eleven there. I just had all these wandering walkabouts type thing in my psychotic state of mind, trying to hunt down this missing situation for myself. And it's just an embarrassing ordeal, and I wish I can put it behind me and forget like nothing happened. I wish I didn't remember what happened to me type thing, but I do very much remember a lot of what went on, because that's just how I remember things. There was a instance at Centennial Park where I went on the tangent again. I was just in this complete, I don't know, fantasy world type thing. I kind of remember one stage being at my house at one instance, and there was 3 police officers that showed up that time because I was a bit loud in my house. And you know, I did an instance at North Maroubra, but the instance in my house, I ended up, I remember one time swinging on a Qantas chair that someone had brought us from, because they work at Qantas, and I just remember being so in psychosis, completely spinning on this chair, peeing in front of my house, on a plant. Like, I just did all this stuff. It's just embarrassing for me, having to relive what I've done, type thing. Yeah, so this is what happens when you take lithium without an antipsychotic medication attached, because my doctor didn't prescribe me proper correct diagnosis and medications and stuff like that. I did a wandering around the city one time where I sat there and ate my vegan sandwich and did like a kind of, I don't know, installation art piece with my body type thing. I wandered around. I ended up at the Adena at Surrey Hills, and I sat there for kind of like half an hour under this like lamp and a chair, and I just did all these wanderings. I ended up at the art gallery going, oh my gosh, look at this art that they're sending to Australia. I just had all these instances in my mental health state of mind of elevation. And yeah, these are kind of the stories of what's happened to me. It's embarrassing being babysat by hospital staff, and being babysat by, and then there was the instance where I took a whole bunch of lithium pills in my psychosis because I thought I was going to get booted out of the country by First Nations people. So I took the tablets and, ended up in an emergency, and, I kind of thought that the cushion bed was speaking to me because it had like a pad that kind of, had like, I don't know, it was just really strange. Everyone, I don't know how to tell you how strange my experiences have been. I had instances on the farm where I was talking to United Nation trees where I thought the trees were people. And I was sitting there going, it's just mouthing off to myself in the middle of the grass and on top of the hill. Thought the hot air balloons had priests in them that came over the farm when people were, having like an experience. And I thought that, I don't know what was going on, but it's very much a, I don't know, different situation. And then there was an experience where I was at the park that I used to live across the road from type thing, where I sat there and I blowed a dog whistle at the time. Like, I just had all these experiences in my situation, and it's just embarrassing. Anyways, that's about it really.